I'm Weston. I love talking about hockey, I suppose. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say for this. And I'm going to be honest, I really miss talking about hockey. The Ranger season's been over for pretty much... Has it been over 2 months now? I think it's been going on over 2 months now that the Rangers haven't played. And that sucks. You know, I really wanted to talk about hockey. And so I figured, why not, so I can talk about hockey, talk about the Stanley Cup final that's currently going on. It's the Lightning in Montreal. Game 1 just wrapped up, so I figured I would take the normal style that I do for the Rangers and do the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Stanley Cup finals. You know, why not? I thought it'd be neat. And I can be relatively unbiased because I'm not a Lightning fan. I'm rooting for them in the Stanley Cup over Montreal, and I'm certainly not a Canadiens fan. So I'm relatively pretty much down the middle with these two teams, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about it anyway. So getting into this game, good lord, after this game, Tampa looks like a wagon, man. I don't know what to say. So, getting right into it. First period, about halfway through, I believe, Braden Point, really nice defensive play, breaks up a zone entry for Montreal, and then they get the puck, right? And they start going down the other way. Palat has it, and just a gorgeous play. Palat... And then Cernak, just a perfect tip past Carey Price's glove. I mean, that's just a pretty play, and there's no other way to put it. There was no stopping that if you're Carey Price. Absolutely, and I mean this as truly as I can mean it, a perfect tip to make it 1-0 in favor of the Lightning. And after that, I was going to try to write down, right, stuff for the game and talk about all the missed calls, but I'm going to be honest. Nothing gets called in the nothing gets called in the Stanley Cup Finals. Everything is allowed, right? Like, I was going to make a list of like all the things that I'm like, oh, that could have been called, and then after like 5 minutes in, I kind of realized, oh, everything is just legal now. That's neat. Why are you looking at me like that? Can you can you not look at me like that? Oh, come on! But eventually something gets called, right? Finally, Gaudreau cross-checks a guy, and yeah, it was cross-checking. A lot of things are a lot of things. Are they those things in the Stanley Cup final? Who's to say? This apparently was. The president is very weird, and the goalpost keeps moving depending on which period it is and how the refs are feeling. This one was called. That being said, the power play by Montreal was horrid. It was just real bad. They could not enter the zone. They could not establish any zone presence when they did. The Lightning were being able to clear and just look like they weren't even trying that hard, which I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. But it was just a very, very bad, sloppy power play by Montreal. And they showed almost no effort on zone re-entries during the power play. Like, it just seemed like they were like, yeah, we got time. Which, yeah, you have time in the game. A power play is 2 minutes, though, so you should probably, hurry that along a tad bit. Now, start of the second period, man, oh man, Lightning, they have a bit of pressure in the offensive zone, and Steven Stamkos gets a chance right in front, no one around him, on Carey Price. And to his credit, he had a bad night tonight, but this was a gorgeous save. He had a couple, like 2 or 3 really nice saves for Carey Price, and this was a beautiful one with the glove to just absolutely rob Stamkos of the goal there, which granted, he would cash in later on, and it wouldn't actually matter because the Lightning blew them out, but I'm going to be nice when I can be, and that was a pretty nice play by Carey Price to get that save. A little bit after that, Lightning, man, this was an insane goal, right? So Lightning, they have it in their own zone, pretty much a blind pass from Coleman, which, beautiful way to start the play up. Gets it over to Gaudreau. He starts moving in. He takes a shot. It is blocked. It's back to Coleman, who takes a shot. And another just gorgeous tip-in by Gord right in front of the net, being a little pest. And it's 2-0 Lightning. And, again, the Rangers have a pretty good passing sequence, right? But then when you watch a team like the Lightning and how good they're passing and how methodical it is, and just how, even on a broken play like this, right, it shouldn't have worked, right? Goes in, bad play, gets immediately blocked, and it doesn't matter. They still score. They are fantastic Now, a little bit later on, Montreal, they have finally a tiny little bit of offensive zone pressure. They get it over to Ben Sherratt, who takes a one-timer and actually makes it a one-goal game. So it looks like it might be tightening up. And you think, oh, wow, maybe Montreal has a chance in this. And then the third period happened. And the third period was a no, not fun time for Montreal Canadiens fans, or the Montreal Canadiens as a team, I would certainly suppose. So third period, right? Lightning enter the zone. Kucherov has it. He takes this weird shot on goal that gets kind of bumbled around, and it looks like a Canadian kind of bats it into his own goal. Now, if you watch the replay, it certainly looks like Palat kind of nudged it in, but I don't think he did, because if he did, it would have probably been called back, A, and 2, the official scoring says it was not him and that Kucherov just scored it himself. So, based upon that, I'm going to say Kucherov scored it. And yeah, it was a bit of a fluky goal, but I don't think the Lightning minded at all a fluky goal. And then a little bit later, because Kucherov said, I'd actually like a goal that wasn't fluky. Offensive zone face-off for the Lightning. Braden Point wins it. Kucherov spends all of about 5 seconds holding it, and then goes, all right, time to score, and whammo, right past Price. It was getting ugly at this point. That made it 4-1, and it just... Credit to the Lightning. They put their foot on the gas, and they did not hold up in the third period, and that was a brutal goal at that point, because that started to really seal the game. It was... Canadiens, man, they did not look good tonight whatsoever. So a little bit later than that, scrum breaks out. Brandon Gallagher kind of gets thrown to the ground. I don't remember who he was scrumming with, but he starts gushing blood like crazy. Montreal would get a power play with just a little over 6 minutes left, and it really wouldn't matter. The power play, again, not great. A couple of decent chances, but nothing of any real note. A little bit later on, Sherratt and Cantimieni, I'm butchering that, I don't even care. They were going back and forth quite a bit throughout the entire game. There were a lot of shots on both of them. Sherratt took a few big hits, including one where he sent him face first into the boards. That wasn't called. Finally, something would get called where he kind of just takes the stick and jams it into his ribs. And that would get called for roughing to give Tampa the power play. And I got to be honest, that was a bad penalty to take. I get that you guys have been going back and forth all night and nothing's been called. But there's only a few minutes left. You're already down 3 goals. The last thing you need to do right there is continue to do that. Because that's exactly what Sherratt wanted. He wanted him to... Or, Cernak, excuse me. That's exactly what he wanted. He wanted you to take a bad penalty and end up sealing the game away for Tampa. That's what happened. It happened perfectly. A little bit after that, then another roughing call by Montreal, and that pretty much sealed the game. About 1:10 left. Stamkos in the Steven Stamkos spot takes a nice little shot. I believe it was dinked off the crossbar, and that made it 5-1. And oh boy, that was certainly something to witness. I want to talk about this game, right? So, where to begin? Tampa looked like they were half trying. It really didn't seem like they were putting 100% effort into the game. And I don't mean that in a bad way of it doesn't seem like they tried. It just seemed like they were so in control of the game that they were methodically just like a cat batting at a ball of yarn to tire out its foe. They played with the Canadiens all night long. It was kind of embarrassing for Montreal, really. It was rough for them. Again, Tampa looked fantastic on their power plays. The passing sequence to just completely tire Montreal out and just basically make them dead men walking in the middle of the ice completely alone was, again, if you're a Lightning fan, probably hilarious, and me who was rooting for the Lightning, pretty funny. But if you're rooting for Montreal, that was hard to watch, and they were pretty much powerless to do anything. The Lightning absolutely killed them tonight, and it was rough. So, the Canadiens looked horrible. Everything looked bad, really. Specifically, the defense was just, laughably bad. Now, Carey Price didn't have a good night. 22 of 27 isn't good by any means. But it doesn't help that you could have probably laid a block of Swiss cheese with a stick on the ice, and it would have been a better defensive structure than they actually had. But this was... If you were Montreal, I don't know what you'd adjust going into the next game. Because, again, maybe I'm being overtly harsh on them, but I just didn't see all that much that they did well tonight, right? The offense was about as offensive as a knock-knock joke. The defense was about as sturdy as a wet paper towel, and Price looked horrid. He was bad. He had a few nice saves, but when you only have 3 or 4 really nice saves and allow 5 goals, that ain't going to cut it, right? I don't know how you can watch this game and not think that Tampa is just an absolute wagon who's going to sweep the Stanley Cup, because that is the vibe that I got after watching this game. It looked like utter domination. They completely waterboarded the Montreal Canadiens, and they just looked like they were batting with their own prey. Like, it was kind of impressive, if I'm being completely honest. It was something to behold. If you are Tampa, don't change a single thing going into the next game. And if you are Montreal, I don't know what you don't change going into game 2. But man, oh man, was this something to behold. Anyway, that's really all I have to say for it. It was something. Kucherov had 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. Braden Point had a 3-point night, all assists. Stamkos had that goal from the Stamkos spot, which basically was just sort of a party favor at that point, but still, this was something else. So I'll be here after game 2. Be here later tonight with the Astros recap. That's really all I have to say. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go hockey, I guess? Yeah, we're going to go with go hockey. That's how I'm going to end it.